Good morning, everyone. Or as we should say, grand rising, everyone. I'm going to ask you to just join me in this opening affirmative prayer. Just going to ask us to just pull our consciousness. So if you could just take a deep breath as we center ourselves. As we breathe, let us know that we are just open and receptive. Open and receptive to that presence. That presence that is all in all. That presence which is knowing itself as each and every one of us here this morning. That presence which is love, which is light, which is joy, which is all that is good. So today, on this wonderful day, we know that we are experiencing the unfolding of a glorious service, a perfect idea in the mind of this one. And I know that everyone who participates is blessed and is a blessing to everyone they meet. And I know our speaker this morning allows herself to be a clear and open channel for the expression of this one. And every word spoken is a word of the divine, spoken unto itself, unto its own fulfillment. And I declare it good and very, very good. And for this, I am truly thankful. And I release these words, knowing it is as I have spoken, and so it is. So we're gonna get ready for our chant this morning, which is in the silence, which is very appropriate as the chant will lead us into the silence.
I find myself
and so it is. And so now we're going to do our affirmation of divine love. It's on the wall in the sanctuary and on the screen for those online. Affirmation of divine love. Divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes. Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for this church now. Divine love is now victorious, and so it is. So now we're going to ask a young person, and we're going to ask all the young people to come to the platform for the lighting of the youth candle.
Morning. I light this candle on behalf of all the youth of the world. Let us behold the Christ in them.
And so it is. So we're going to do the blessing of children. We love you. We appreciate you. We salute the Christ in you. And we see you as shining lights onto your world. God is blessing you now. And so it is. And now it is that time for our mission song. So I'm going to ask you now to stand as we stand on principle and we say the prayer of our center. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. enhance our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. You may be seated. So I have a few reminders for you about what's coming up this week and early in this month. So on Tuesday, we have Spiritual Mind Healing Service, and Practitioner Steve Golden will be conducting that service as we discuss the practice of principle in our lives. On the 1st of February, no, sorry, that's incorrect. Starting in February, not the 1st, but the first Tuesday in February, our Spiritual Mind Healing Service will be in the sanctuary, right? With Reverend Michelle. And first one will be Reverend Michelle, and it's from 6 to 7. And it's an evening of meditation and prayer. Classes, that is what starts on the 1st of February. Classes. And the first class will be Thursday, I said the 1st, from 11:30 to 1 p.m. And it's the 4 agreements. And it will be conducted by Reverend Michelle Senegal. And then at 7 to 9 p.m., the power of the spoken word. And that will be facilitated by Reverend Sonia Davidson, assisted by Practitioner Steve Golden and myself. For those classes, we are just asking you to give a love offering for those classes. Prayer support. We continue to respond to all your requests for prayer. There is now a box for prayer requests on the table in the vestibule. There's a pen along with paper to record your requests. I just place them in the box for the attention of the practitioners. And a practitioner is available to pray with you immediately following our Sunday service. And today the practitioner is Dr. Tamu Davidson. And the number to call for prayer requests is 876-289-0907. And if you want to speak to a practitioner, you call the same number, 876-289-0907, anytime from 8 a.m. to midnight, Mondays to Friday. And pastoral counseling is also available, but please call the office for an appointment. Donation, tithes, offering. I want to thank you for your generosity, for helping us to be a beacon of light in this world. And if you wish to support our ministry financially, kindly visit our donate page, donate.templeoflightcsl.org, which has our banking details. So thank you. As together we support a world that works for everyone. And we're now going to do our praise song, which is God Working, composed by Practitioner Steve Golden.
God working in my life is a wonder to behold. His stories are so glorious, all cannot be told. I know them of myself, in the working, it's the Spirit working in me that make me dance and sing. Sometimes we will feel angry, sometimes we will feel glad. Then the everlasting in me, and nothing it can go. And when the Spirit holds you, jump up and wheel and come. God working in my life is a wonder to behold. His stories are so glorious, all cannot be told. I know that of myself, may not do a thing. It's His Spirit working in me that make me dance and sing.
So please be seated. And I'm going to ask you to center yourselves again. As you center yourself, just recognize the one light, the light of the eternal day, the light that is wisdom beyond our understanding, the light that clearly shows our way, the light of spirit. It is our light that guides us into the paths of right useness of the laws of life. So we just allow this light to fill our consciousness now as we just join in this refrain, knowing that God is light. So in this light, we recognize the self-givingness of spirit. The self-givingness of spirit as our all-sufficiency. The self-givingness of spirit as our very lives. This is love, the highest vibration of spirit. The kindness, the compassion, that which connects us with each other, that which lifts us into a greater knowing and expression of ourselves. So in this consciousness of love, let us now sing that God is love. So in this givingness of spirit, knowing itself as each and every one of us, it ran through creation on the day we started our journey, proclaiming our name in the spirit of joy, joy, that high expression of spirit, that expression knowing itself, expressing as each and every one of us, that joy within, that joy which spontaneously comes forth when we experience and recognize that presence which comforts us, that presence which lifts us, that presence which is just pure joy. So now, in this consciousness of joy, let us sing. Let us sing. So in joy, we know all is well. And in this consciousness, I'm going to ask you to stand as we do our hymn, Knowing, as we sing the hymn, Knowing. So please be seated. So I know that you all are ready. I can see the joy on your faces. And I can feel spirit in this place. So I know our speaker this morning just allows herself to be a clear and open channel. You will feel it and you will know it as I give you our speaker, practitioner, Carol Campbell.
Good morning. And good morning to those joining us online today. And if there's anyone in the sanctuary who's here for the first time at the service, we invite you to just stand, raise your hand so that you can be acknowledged, so that the ushers can place a little sticker on you that say, "We behold the Christ in you." Don't be shy. Thank you. And if you're online, identify yourselves. We will acknowledge you there too. How many of us grew up hearing, "Mind your P's and Q's"? I know for myself, I had no idea what P's and Q's were. But there was a tacit understanding that it meant to behave yourself appropriately, be on your best behavior, show you have little manners, and don't cause any embarrassment. Well, thank God for Google and Wikipedia. I learned that the possible origins of the term, and this glass is not helping me, are from the mid-19th century, when typesetting for the printing press was done by hand, and lowercase p and q could be confused. Can you imagine? Typesetting by hand, which means every letter that you see in the sentence is by hand. Other explanations included a tavern term for the bartender to keep track of the pints and quarts that his customers consumed. Of course, the most popular explanation was to say please and thank you. You know, P and Q. Now, I'd like us to take a different approach to P's and Q's this morning. If we desire to stay on our best behavior, or simply be a good person, or better yet, be the best version of ourselves, so that we can live happy and feel good. Don't you want that? So how about these P's? Principle, power, purpose, passion, prayer, praise. There's more, but I'll just focus on a few here. Let's start with principle. The basic principle of the science of mind philosophy is that there is one cause, one spirit, one mind. And as Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, puts it in his book, Science of Mind textbook, he quotes, "It is that invisible essence, that ultimate stuff and intelligence from which everything comes, the power back of creation." End quote. Now, principle is not something tangible that you can see or touch, but you can certainly see the results of applying a principle. Principles don't change. For instance, mathematics is governed by principle. In its simplest form, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Always. It don't change. Electricity is bound by a principle, where negative and positive charges create a spark of energy that can just as easily cook your dinner as cook you. It don't change, right? In the art world, if you mix the color blue and the color yellow, you get green. It don't change, right? Now, we can always expand our understanding of these principles to more effectively use them. Now, science of mind is the study of the principle of being. We are human beings. God is in, through, around, as all there is, ever present, ever available, and therefore is also in us. Affirm with me now. The life of God is my life now. Remember that. It follows then that whatever exists, including us, has access to this power back of creation. Which takes me to the next P, power. What is that one thing that everybody desires, regardless of what we name it? We all want to be happy, not true? We all want to feel good. So, what keeps happiness out of reach most often? What do you think? It's not living your authentic self. It's trying to live up to other people's expectations. It's feeling powerless. We're seldom going to be happy if we're not being ourselves. We have to decide for ourselves how we want to show up in the world. As powerful or pitiful. It's not so much about what you want to do in the world, but how you want to be in the world. So what's stopping you? We must recognize that there is a power for good in the universe, and we use it. But don't forget, it uses us when we're open to it. And that's where the power lies, to get ourselves out the way and let God do its thing. The only person standing in your way is who? You. Fear, guilt, lack of confidence cannot share space in a consciousness that recognizes its inherent power to be great. You can't shrink your way to greatness. You know that? Okay. So, fearlessly examine what makes you feel good and shamelessly do more of that, as long as it hurts no one. Ralph Waldo Emerson, writing in his essay on self-reliance, said, and I quote, "Greatness appeals to the future. So what dreams are waiting in the wings for you to acknowledge and accept your inherent power to realize? That means to make real, successful results far beyond our limited imaginings and hopes. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to move from where you are to where you want to be in that dream? It may require letting go of some old, worn-out ideas about who you are and who or what God is. Sit with that. A recognition of our divinity can be the fuel that propels our expression of our best life. Recognize we are spiritual first, an individualized expression of God, however we perceive that to be. We can start by declaring, and I'll say it and you can say it after me, there is neither doubt, confusion, nor fear, for I know I am rooted in the one and only perfect and divine presence. I'll break it down for you. There is neither doubt, confusion, nor fear. There is neither doubt, confusion, nor fear. For I know I am rooted in the one and only perfect and divine presence. How does that feel when you say it? Say it again, so you can feel better. There is neither doubt, confusion, nor fear. There is neither doubt, confusion, nor fear. For I know I am rooted in the one and only perfect and divine presence. Which leads me to purpose, passion, and prayer, which are all linked. So having declared that we are rooted in a perfectly powerful presence, fulfilling our purpose will require passionate engagement. Now there's always some clarification being sought about our purpose. Why am I here? To my mind, if you're still breathing, you have a purpose here. But certainly, as an individualized expression of the divine, our purpose must be more than just to take up breathing space. Not true? Now, I remember before I decided to come back to Jamaica, I wrote a declaration to the universe. I've been getting these nudges, right? And I said, nah. You get a bigger nudge, I said, nah. So I said, Put me where I can best express my creativity with passion and purpose for the greater good of all. Just fling it out there. I shared it with a friend who said, Lord, Mrs., we could have never said that. It is very scary. Now understand, when I wrote this, I had no plans to return to Jamaica yet. My design studio was doing well. I was exhibiting all over. I was lecturing across Western Canada. Life was good. But the nudges were consistent and insistent. So, can I tell you, in less than a year, I was in Jamaica. Lock, stock, and barrel. It was a kind of, okay, God, now what moment. But my parents needed me here, and I needed me here. Clarity comes from engagement, not thought. You can think about your purpose till thy kingdom come. You won't be any closer to an answer until you do something. Take a step in any direction. You will know by how it feels if it's a step in the right direction. Trust it. Thinking plus feeling takes us to the good we desire. Our thoughts about our desires get filtered through our own self-image, though. So the feelings that are generated will either be filled with excitement and confident expectation, or fear and doubt. Unless you want lukewarm results, get some passion happening in there, okay? The things you're passionate about are not random. They are your calling. So don't ignore that little voice that says, this is the way, walk in it. Go here so, don't go there so, right? There are infinite possibilities and opportunities to express our purpose, because everything in our experience is always leading us to the fulfillment of our purpose. Everything becomes an opportunity to live up to our greatest potential. And that, my friends, is our true purpose. Believe in the unfailing principle of the goodness of God. Say with me, my world is alive with God.
My world is alive with God.
You believe it? Okay. So, how then are we going to anchor the power, the passion, and the purpose in principle? Prayer. Prayer. What is prayer, really? Ernest Holmes, again writing in the Science of Mind textbook, says, and I quote, prayer is a recognition of Spirit's omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, end quote. Now, prayer is not a petition, nor is it an attempt to convince a reluctant God of our worthiness to receive. Ralph Waldo Emerson, writing in his essay on self-reliance, puts it this way, and I quote, prayer is a soliloquy, God's voice in us of a beholding, jubilant soul. As soon as man is at one with God, he ceases to beg, end quote. Say it again. Prayer is a soliloquy, God's voice in us of a beholding, jubilant soul. As soon as man is at one with God, he ceases to beg. Prayer is essential to establish communion with the infinite, that fountain of wisdom which is already present within each one of us. So through prayer, we align ourselves with Spirit, the indwelling presence, knowing that the answer already exists. Our Declaration of Principles states, we believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence, and anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. That's what we believe, and that's what we try to live by. Through faith and trust, we know that our prayer is answered even before we voice it. But if there's any niggling doubt back there, you have to go back to square one, wheel and come again, with clear, undiluted confidence in the ever-givingness of Spirit. You think I did forget the cue, don't it? There really is only one. Question. Question everything you think you know. You may discover a lot you don't know, things you didn't know that you didn't know. But not knowing is the perfect place to begin investigating possibilities that can move us inexorably in the direction of our greater good. And once you know, you can't not know. Then we can begin to lay down tracks towards a joyful, healthy, strong, happy life experience. This is not just wishful thinking. Your best life is waiting on you to step into it. Say yes, quickly. What if this really is your time? Don't waste another moment.
If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why? If one little dream ever came true, why can't it happen for you? If some people live the life of their dreams, why can't you do it too? Dare to dream, dare to see how life can really be. See your dreams come true, and they'll belong to you. Just dare to see the life you want to live. Dare to give the dream within you power. Every hour you see your dreams as true, gives them power to bring all things to you. See it now in your mind, and it belongs to you. Just believe your dreams, and you will find they're right now coming true. Just dare to know that life could love you so. Dare to live as if your dreams are real. Every hour you see your dreams as true, gives them power to bring all things to you. See it now in your mind, and it belongs to you. And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, if you would please stand for our prayer of Jamaica. Together, the radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established, and so it is. Don't sit down yet, we have to sing. Our second hymn, There Shall Be Showers of Blessing. There shall be showers of blessing, and sprinkling even above, Spirit forever expressing, giving itself unto all. Showers of blessing, when we learn not to believe, open upon us expressing, that's all abundance indeed. There shall be showers of blessing, bringing good substance anew, freely restoring and blessing, more of God's love into view. Showers of blessing, when we learn not to impede, open upon us expressing, God's full abundance indeed. There shall be showers of blessing, open up the window, paving your way and progressing, right through the door you unlock. Showers of blessing, when we learn not to impede, open upon us expressing, God's full abundance indeed. There shall be showers of blessing, open your heart to receive, mindful that you are possessing that which you fully believe. Showers of blessing, when we learn not to impede, open upon us expressing, God's own abundance indeed. Okay, I would invite you to take your love offering in your hands and say the blessing found on the envelope. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. So be it. Thank you, Father, and so it is. And I'll do a closing affirmative prayer now, followed by which we will sing the peace song, except substituting joy for peace. And while we're doing the peace song, I would invite you to put your envelopes in the box. We're giving thanks in this moment and every moment. We give thanks for the ideas expressed this morning. We give thanks for the minds and hearts that are open to receive. And we give thanks that as we leave here this morning to go our separate ways, to our several and separate destinations and activities, that we go as God, we go with God, we go with that sure knowing that right where we are, all of God is always fully present and fully active. Therefore, our day unfolds in right and perfect ways, bringing us joy, light, love, peace. The ever-givingness of Spirit is with us. We open ourselves now and receive that blessing and say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is. Beautiful. Thank you. And I would like to thank our tech team this morning, Lauren, Chevenet, Liam, Christine, Terrell, Steve. Thank you all. Thank you so much for being here. And so it is. We have refreshments out the back for those of you